honored that you asked, first of all. And I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous about it.
Well,
Because
I'm always,
you're so down to earth. But I'm nervous about it.
no, I'm always nervous. Like, it's funny, even when I start these and even as I do these, I'm nervous anytime I come on these, because this is not something that I thought I would do. This is not something I'm comfortable doing. And so I jumped in like super nervous with high anxiety because I'm not used to being on camera. I'm not used to being an interviewer. So I kind of just jumped in because I started doing my Art and Hustle gallery shows, but then COVID hit and my partner was like, you should really do a podcast and like talk to everybody that, you know, you did art shows, but then expanded to people that I know in general from like school and, you know, people I've worked with, people I've gone to school with, that I feel like everyone has a story, and I feel like every story will help and every story will heal.
Jim, I want you to draw a picture of your cancer. So,
Mhm.
I won't ever show anybody, especially an artist like yourself, what that picture looked like.
No, yeah.
But when I brought it into him, his eyes popped out of his head.
Wow.
And he must have thought to himself, oh, damn, this guy's going to be in therapy. I could buy that new boat I want, because of,
Yeah. Yeah.
the time I was going to need. And then I was talking about the blog that I kept while I was in Sloan Kettering.
Mhm.
I was in isolation for 70 some odd days.
Wow.
I couldn't leave a 20 by 20 room except
Wow.
to get a PET scan or a CAT scan or whatever to see how I was progressing.
Mhm.
And so I was stuck. And part of the reason I kept the blog was it kept me busy. There was nothing
Mhm.
else to do. I couldn't leave the room. I had a
Mhm.
small TV. I couldn't get a lot of channels. Couldn't use my computer to talk to my kids and my grandkids
No?
because it was against hospital policy. They
Really?
didn't want anything revealed on camera that was
Oh,
going on in the room. So I was forbidden to have that kind of connection.
wow.
Um, and so I kept it for that. I kept it as a chronologue so I could go back and see on this date, I did this, this happened, and so on. And then
Mhm.
the last part of it, the reason why I kept the blog was to help relieve the burden. And here it is thinking of everybody else.
Mhm.
Everybody was asking, like Nancy Rocker, I was, with her at the time. They would call her, and the first thing they would say is, how's Jim? They would
Mm.
never ask how she was doing,
Mm.
which we'll talk about
Yeah,
perhaps
that's
later.
a whole nother thing too.
Yeah, the caretakers. We can't get
Yeah.
into that right now,
We'll have
but
to get her on the podcast too.
oh, absolutely. And it was like, let me keep it so that now I can answer these questions by keeping this blog. People can read the blog, and it will save my sisters, my kids, and Nancy the trouble of having to answer the same question multiple times.
Mm, mhm.
So from that blog, which I kept, that was my way of dealing with things immediately.
Yeah.
So the therapist said to me when I talked to him about it, he said, and I saved it. I don't know why I saved it, Linda. And then I guess now I know why.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
an unforeseen thing in the cosmos that said, save me.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
put him in a box. I moved him down here with me to Florida.
Mhm.
And he said, dig them out, dig out the blog entries, revisit them. He said, and then maybe you'll have enough material for a book. And he
Yeah.
said, if you write the book, it doesn't have to be seen by anybody. You
Yes.
don't
That's
have to
beautiful.
share with
That's a
anybody.
beautiful advice.
You just, it'll like the unpacking
Yeah.
piece of it.
Yeah.
So I started working on it seriously about a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
And like I said on the Facebook post, I just got my copy of the book last Tuesday. And it was like holding a child, a newborn
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
my arms.
Congratulations.
And it's like,
Congratulations.
so it has been a purgation of all this stuff that I've been burying inside.
Yes.
And even I've reread it 3 times in book form. So I have it
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Let's show the camera. Let's show the audience.
I have it here, right here.
Yes.
And I've read it 3 times. And each time I read it, I
Mhm.
cry.
Wow.
Because and my friend Judy, who just called me now, and I told her I'd talk to her later. She's a social clinical psychiatrist, like a psychologist. She's got degrees in speech therapy and so on. I
Mhm.
met with her last week. She channels also, which is really amazing. Which is
Ooh,
what
I
I
love
love.
that.
I love
Really?
that about her. And she was doing this writing while she was channeling things
Wow, I
for me.
love it.
And it was almost illegible. And she was speaking almost in tongues. It was a little scary.
Yeah.
But she said to me, that's the tears are getting rid of the poison that you have held inside
Mm,
of you for 16 years.
yes, yes.
And so I kept saying to myself when I was crying, reading my own book, and I know how it ended because I wrote the damn thing,
Yeah.
but it was my way of releasing
Yes.
and getting rid of this that was toxic.
Yes.
And
And
that's,
that's like emotional cancer there too,
oh, and you
right?
know, you and I both know that
Yeah.
stress,
Yes.
and if we hold that stress inside,
Yes.
it
It
it's,
turns it manifests because we are a mind, body.
I said to her, perfection is protection. If you're perfect,
Ooh, I
you
love that.
can't, you know, no one can criticize you.
Yeah.
And then she said to me, no one's
I
perfect.
love it.
So
I
you
love it.
will never have that protection. So you need to be who you genuinely are and
Yeah.
not worry about or regret
Yeah.
what people think of you.
I love it. I love it. Let's see.
If I may be so bold as to make pass judgment on you, I'm glad you're out of the corporate world.
Yeah.
I think you are doing more good with these podcasts and connecting people, you connecting with them, people connecting with each other.
Mhm.
And your art is still always there. And that is something that you are so skilled and talented with that may not have shined as it should have when you were in corporate.
Yeah.
And now Linda's beauty is surfacing, that unpacking, it's all coming out.